Be Inspired podcast. Real stories from real people. Sharing stories of love and loss, struggles and perseverance, laughter and tears, and overcoming adversity.
They say that everyone in life has their own guardian angel, but me, I want my own fairy godmother. I want this fairy godmother who was with us live on our set today. Hi, I'm Bert Barron.
And I'm Lisa Anderson.
We welcome you to a very special edition of Be Inspired, and this season is made possible by IgA Nephropathy Foundation. Lisa, there's very special people in this world that dedicate themselves to helping countless other people. And how about having our own fairy godmother with us here today? I don't know if our set is big enough to contain the love and the inspiration and the caring that our guest has for so many people who are in need. And we're so honored to have her here today.
We really are. And I want to give Simone a gold wand because she deserves it with all the magic that she spreads around.
Talk about someone who makes magic for people who are just in such desperate need. We are so honored today to be joined on Be Inspired by Simone Gordon, the Black Fairy Godmother, who is just making such a difference in the lives of so many people. I am so honored to have you on this set with us today, Simone. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
When we see people and the number of people that you've been able to help in so many different ways, whether it's with food, with medical services, every story has a beginning. And you were one of the people who really needed some help, who needed that helping hand at one point before you can go on and help others. Share your story as to what inspired you to where you are now in being the Black Fairy Godmother and helping families.
In 2017, everyone knows that the banks, they went under, and I lost my job. And then during the time that I lost my job, my son got diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder. So I decided to get him the help that he needed by contacting Children's Specialized Hospital, contacting different centers to get him therapy. Everyone had a waiting list. And then I was on unemployment, and at that time, unemployment wasn't much, and it was only like $200 a week. How can I live off of that, right? I have an amazing support system. I have my mom and dad, and they were helping me as well, but I am still my son's mother, right? So I have to make sure that I'm financially capable of taking care of him. Going through many nonprofits, many big companies, contacting people, doors were always getting shut on me. So I decided to go on social media and ask people, where can I get help from? Everyone said call 211, the other big nonprofits, and the list goes on. But there was one Facebook friend said, there is a group that helps women in need, single mothers who are marginalized. So I joined that group, and there was a whole bunch of strangers in that group. And I said, hi, my name is Simone Gordon. I have a son named Jarvis, and he has autism spectrum disorder, and I need medical supplies, and I need someone to advocate to get him the services he needs at the hospital. 4 women, one from California, one from Washington, one from New York, and another one from Pennsylvania. Never knew who I was, but decided to come together to advocate for me. One wrote a letter through Link Inc. to the chairperson at Children's Specialized Hospital, and within 2 weeks, my son was able to get services. The other advocate decided to contact Target to see if she can get coupons and do a monthly subscription of Depends for my son, because the pull-ups he'd had through the insurance company were no longer working for him. Then a beautiful human being, her husband said, hey, you keep going back to banking. You ever thought about changing your career? I said, I always want to go back to school, but I'm a single mom. I have no way of going back without any money. They wrote a check to Essex County Community College and enrolled me in, and I graduated in May. Wow. And that's the story. And I decided to just be that fairy godmother and do the same thing that all of these wonderful people were doing, and here I am, the Black Fairy Godmother.
Just the simple fact that complete strangers, Simone, who didn't know you from anybody, saw that you needed some help. You were in a situation, you went through the usual channels, no one was willing to help you or your son, and they came forward and got you a little bit of a boost and got you moving. I could see why you had to be immediately inspired, like, okay, how do I take this now? No, they call it paying it forward, but it's like, what can I do now to help someone who is in the same situation that I was in. And I could see why you took this and you ran with it, and you're still running with it. And I can see why it's about helping others. People you'll never know, you'll never meet, but you're making a difference in their lives, which is such a powerful thing.
It's so important. We must come together because there are certain communities who are not receiving resources. They're, they're just not, and they don't know where to turn. So I decided to go on social media, and I started on Facebook making awareness as to certain communities, certain demographics are not receiving medical. There's a huge food insecurity, and you think, hey, we're in the U.S., we're the most richest country, but there are some people who just don't have. So I created ways where we can give back without money, but we can give back through voices and community. And that's when many celebrities and, of course, many authors, Elizabeth Gilbert, the writer, and Jennifer Pasloff, who's a celebrity yoga instructor, said, hey, what about you go on IG and start doing videos of people and how you're changing their lives?
Right.
And I started in 2019 on IG, started off with 100 followers. By the end of 2019, 13,000 strong across the globe,
Remarkable.
not just in the U.S.
Simone, I just want to say a couple things before I ask you, about the programs. But first of all, at such a young age, you have done so much already. And I was a single mom myself, so I know that feeling of you just feel like, oh, where do I turn? What do I do? It's a daunting feeling. Second of all, you exude such peace, grace, love. The minute we met, we started talking like
Right.
we knew each other forever. I want to get back to the programs, and I thank you for that, by the way, because I too feel like you do that. We have to come together. That's where social media is a good thing. Mm-hmm. But with the programs, when I was reading your story, I was a little surprised because I'm under the impression, and I know there's a huge food insecurity out there, but I thought there were a lot of programs for autism, like New Jersey Autism, a lot of programs for, to get your son some help. Why do you think there was such a wait and so difficult for you to break through that? Because all I hear about is there's this, there's that, there's, compensation for you. Not so, right?
It's not so. It's a huge and problematic conversation to have. But in marginalized urban communities, we lack in the resources. There are big organizations for autism in the state of New Jersey, but they're more so in suburban areas where the single mom who may not have a car or money to get to, certain towns.
Okay.
And, that's where I've been advocating with different mayors and say, hey, those same organizations that you go to the galas with, talk to them about bringing some resources so we all can come together and make sure that these children get it. Children are children no matter what color or what age they are.
Absolutely.
They deserve the best. And in our generation, we have that power to give them the best. Yeah. And with food insecurity, there are plenty of food pantries everywhere.
Yeah.
However, they're not nutritionists. Some senior citizens have dietary restrictions. Some individuals with disability have dietary, and also some kids have allergy. Sure. So some of the items that they're providing that has peanut oil or that has canned food that are high in sodium is no good. Right. So they need to go according to the dietary restrictions they have. So I went ahead and I created, hey, Instacart is popular. Yeah. Let's create a online account with Instacart and start sending people their groceries.
What they
Nutrition
need.
Is correct.
Yeah.
And
that's
surprise them, online people fill out the form because we have to vet these requests. They fill out the form and there's a section where they'll put if they have allergies or anything in the food and the toiletries and medical supplies. And they'll put in their phone number. So what we do is we put in the order and then they get a knock on the door through the Instacart shop and said, the Black Fairy Godmother sent you groceries, and people will cry, send videos. I thought no one was going to hear my story or hear my cry.
Amazing, isn't it?
And what you do, the formal description is connecting people to resources. You grant wishes.
Yes.
That's a special thing.
Yes.
People will reach out to you with a wish. Maybe the Black Fairy Godmother can help me with getting access to medical services or helping me feed my family or helping me stay in my apartment for another month.
Absolutely.
That is next level inspiration of just granting wishes of complete strangers.
Thank you.
I can't put into words how special it is what you do. It's really true.
And so young, too, to think about all of this, because it keeps growing and growing. You know, you must just say bippity boppity boo, and there it goes. And
we have to set an example.
Yeah.
We have to set an example.
Talk to us about your son, Simone.
My son is the love of my life, and he is also my inspiration on why I am the Black Fairy Godmother. Let's be honest. He is 11 years old. He is nonverbal with autism spectrum disorder, and I had to actually fight in court for him to get the proper education, especially with special education. There are a lot of special needs schools, but in the public schools, they will keep the children in without the resources. So I couldn't afford a lawyer. I didn't have a lawyer. I went ahead and I advocated with some Rutgers law students and asked for them to help me. And we went down to the courts, and it took me 4.5 years to get him into a special needs school. And some people go, well, there's special needs schools all over New Jersey that are private, but everybody due to income do not have that. So I had to become my son's voice because he's nonverbal and his Black Fairy Godmama. But I went to the courts and I did speak to the judge and I said, you know, my son deserves the same education as a regular kid, right?
For sure.
And going into the public school, they don't have the nurses, the speech therapists that are certified to help him grow into a productive adult later on in the future.
How's he doing now?
He is doing great. Even though he is nonverbal, he is able to communicate to the best of his ability with anyone at this present time. He is dressing himself. He loves sports. He loves music. My dad bought him a keyboard for Christmas, so he has been aggravating me with the keyboard.
Better than drums,
but
right?
These are the things that I live for. Everybody said, well, you're the Black Fairy Godmother. No one gives you a house or car. Just being able to see my son grow and seeing other people's lives I save, that's all I need in this world. I'm filling voids, and that void of seeing my son grow is filling in my heart. That's all I need.
Total joy. Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, Bert, when moms get together, fathers too.
Powerful.
But it is. When it comes to your child, and, you know, you mentioned earlier, you didn't know them. They did not know you. It doesn't matter. You just have this instant connection.
Right.
From across, you know, California, and it's amazing. And then that grows, and then they tell someone else, and it's a real passion, isn't it?
It is. We even had a couple who was retiring, and they had 3 cars, and they're like, we're retiring, we don't need 3 cars. And there was a mom who wrote into our foundation, and she was in Kentucky, and she was losing her car. They paid for their car, which was, I believe, a 2004, shipped it to her on her birthday, and they went live, and she thanked me for it. And now she's able to work and take her kids to school.
That's amazing. You probably hear from families, Simone, often that you say, you know what, not long ago, that was me. I know exactly what this single mother or this family is going through, and that inspires you to just go as far as you can and offer as much assistance as possible. What are some of the things that people will contact the Black Fairy Godmother for?
A wheelchair. Many people may say, well, you could get it through your insurance. There's different rules and regulations now that have changed in the legislation. Every 5 years, you're able to get a wheelchair. We had a beautiful woman who reached out to us and said, my wheelchair is broken. I've been stuck in the house for a month. That is no way for any human being to live. So we went on social media, raised it. It was approximately $2,700. And usually we don't always get funding, but it depends on the Instagram and how people feel. We were able to get that wheelchair, and now it's being delivered to her through a medical company Wednesday. Some people will reach out, hey, I need transportation to get to work. Can you give us a e-gift card from Uber or Lyft? We will do that. We have some people who say, hey, my baby ran out of formula, I'm not working, or my benefits didn't come in for the formula. We will Instacart that. Some people are being evicted at this present time, and they're asking, can you help, stop my eviction? And we will do that.
There's so much need out there. Do you get overwhelmed sometimes, Simone, or do you seem, we talked about healing, and you have a very peaceful way about you. You just said you have to heal within you, because there's a lot of trauma that you went through. But do you ever get overwhelmed and feel like, where is this going to come from? How will I get this mom a car? How will I get this person medicine? Because, I mean, face it, when you go on social media, you see a lot of GoFundMes, you see a lot of, so many people need so much. So it's amazing the circle that you have, that what you're getting done. It's crazy.
I do get overwhelmed, and thanks for my parents being my support system. So during the pandemic, I was 24 hours. We were open 24 hours. And we got so burnt out during the pandemic that I started getting sick. And my parents said, hey, you're in school. Your son is also doing virtual learning. You got to pipe down, because, yes, there's so much need in this world, but what about your healing and your stability, right?
That's right.
So I decided to, okay, everyone, we're going to plan a system. So we have 50 volunteers across America. We decided to do a system. Mondays and Tuesdays, the foundation is closed for healing and for self-care. It is important that every day is going to be a problem. Mm-hmm. And yes, I am the Black Fairy Godmother, but I know there are plenty of fairies out there. But in order for me to heal by the water, to journal, to do meditation, to make sure I'm healthy and strong enough to help the next person, I have to be that person, to be 100%.
Yes, you do. Yeah, because we were just talking about that with our previous guest. You can't pour from an empty cup. And Simone just told me I have to start journaling everything down.
The better you take care of yourself, the more people you can assist.
Yes.
It's true. It's
true.
true.
For sure.
You're also continuing to just grow and blossom, Simone. A special scholarship where now you're really helping out families and other people. Talk about your scholarship program.
Well, the amazing couple, Kimberly and Steve, who's in Washington, decided to take a leap of faith and put me back into community college where I'm graduating. They saw a single mom who's marginalized, and I got that blessing and that opportunity. So this is my second annual Fairy Dust Scholarship Fund. And what it is giving a person a second chance. You're being a single mom, and it's probably something you always wanted to do, either go back to school or obtain a trade of your choice, so that you're able to be stabilized going forward to take care of your family. And that's what the Scholarship Fund is about. Women who are over 21 years old, who are single moms and just want a second chance of life by obtaining a trade or obtaining a degree of their choice. We were able to do 20 women. Out of those 20 women, we had 12 women who graduated out of college or a trade school. And we actually have one mom who is at Spelman College. She transferred out of a community college, went into Spelman College. And then we have some moms who never had a high school diploma, and they were able to go to a local center in their community and go and get a GED program, which you have to pay for.
That's incredible, because they probably never thought they'd get a high
Correct.
school diploma, let alone a college education. How proud they must feel.
Yes.
Yeah, and their children, too.
Yes.
It just changes everything.
Yes, and when I went live about it, Tory Burch Foundation decided to grant us a substantial amount to go towards it, and it was able to help these women get to where they need to be. And now they're sending videos. One became a welder. She said, my dad always had a welding business, and I want to take after him, but I had my kids. I have 4 kids, and now she, went to Success Community College and took out the welding program, and she's a welder. So
cool.
There's different people, and
This mama has connections.
With the Black Fairy Godmother in the world,
Yes.
it's just simply a
You
better
do.
place, no doubt
Yes.
about it. Simone, if someone wants to join your legions of social media followers
I am.
and join you in this mission of making a difference in so many people's lives and learning some more information about a gala that's coming up too, where's the best way where people can go for information?
they can go to 2 places. Our website, www.theblackfairygodmother.org. We are looking for more volunteers and more people to partner with. And they can also go to our website and grant a wish of their choice. Or they can go to IG, the Black Fairy Godmother Official, 12 p.m. Monday through Friday. We always post new opportunities and ways to give.
Well, bless you so much. The biggest hearted person I've ever met in my life. I mean that sinceriously, for all the people that you're helping. So blessed to have you with us on the program today, and thank you again for what you're doing for so many people.
Thank you so much for having me today, guys.
Simone, thank you.
I'm Bert Barron.
And I'm Lisa Anderson.
And we thank you for watching Be Inspired.
Awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. We clicked right then and there when I walked in the door.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
Produced by Michael R. Doyle.
It's
Co-producers,
so good to me.
Bert Barron, Lisa Anderson-Puleo, Rebecca Gruber, and Erwin Sternberg. Executive producers, Rod Weber and Sean M. Sternberg. Editor, Rebecca Gruber. Filmed at New Beginnings Foundation, Wall Township, New Jersey.